We want to bring in Philip Rucker. He is the Washington Post White House bureau chief and an NBC News political analyst. Phil, good morning. Let's start with that news overnight. The president now announcing this rare reversal that he is going to delay that rally in Tulsa by a day, so it won't happen on the day that African Americans celebrate as their Independence Day, the emancipation from slavery. Why now?
Yeah. Well, Peter, it's interesting. We watched the president and the White House defend the decision to do this rally on June 19th for 2 straight days amid criticism. But clearly, the president and his team decided that holding the rally on Juneteenth, on that holiday, would further inflame racial tensions in this country that he is already dealing with right now. And so delaying the rally by a day is an effort to try to avoid something of a race fight in Tulsa, which has its own history, of course, of racial relations.
Right.
And Phil, let's talk more broadly about these protests that we have seen. President Trump, as NBC News reported overnight, has apparently referred to the protesters as saying, quote, "These aren't my voters." The president clearly views this through a political lens. Take us inside the White House, Phil. What are some of the deliberations right now about how to grapple with this?
Well, that was an extraordinary revelation that he would say that those protesters were not his voters, not his people. He, of course, is the president for all Americans, but it speaks to the paralysis inside the White House right now between some advisors who feel like the president should be trying to do more to unite the country, to build bridges and to heal wounds, and others who feel like he should be playing to his political base, doubling down on that law and order messaging that we've seen the last few weeks.
Phil, we know the president wants to restart these rallies beginning next week. He's also trying to put coronavirus concerns in the rearview mirror. To go to the rally, you have to accept liability. You won't sue the president, basically, if you end up getting sick. How big a risk politically is this for the president to host tens of thousands of people together?
It's a huge risk, Peter, because if there are further outbreaks in these cities where the president is staging these large-scale rallies, his campaign could look as if it were responsible for the outbreak. It is the president's own government, the Centers for Disease Control, that yesterday issued guidelines saying anybody at gatherings like this should be wearing masks, should be social distancing, should be taking precautions. Dr. Anthony Fauci as well has said that it is risky and dangerous to do these sorts of large gatherings, but the president is pressing forward because he wants to show the country is getting back to normal, and he wants to return to those rallies and have the sold-out crowds.
Yeah, hoping for an economic recovery quickly. Phil Rucker with the president today. Phil, thank you very much.